My name's Heidi Holtan, and I work for KAXE. It's Northern Community Radio. We're based out of Grand Rapids, and we are a public community radio station, which means that the way that we stay on the air is by basically asking people for money and to be members of the station and to do that once a year. And the station's been around for almost 33 years now. And it's a public radio station in that we get most of our funding from the people who, become members of the station. But we're a community station, which also means that probably 70% of the people that you hear on our airwaves are people who are just volunteers, who have come in and been trained, and they do programming. Besides that, I do a million other things too, fundraising, and new internet projects, and been really kind of pushing on our staff to be more involved online and using social networking tools. When I'm on the air, I'm Facebooking and Twittering as I'm on the air, and I'm hoping to push that a little more. I know there's public radio stations around the country, ones that are like us that have volunteers who are Twittering while they're doing music shows, and they have like a community of people who are commenting about the music, and they're putting up their playlists, and it's just a really interactive community. So at some point I hope we'll move towards that, because I think it's just so many people are keyed into that. It's just another way to kind of build community. We have a Saturday night trivia show from 7 to 9 o'clock, and in the last couple of months or so, I guess, I've done two, that's on every week, but I've done two of those shows as Facebook shows. Normally what happens is there's a host who gives questions, people call in the answers. We're a small station, we don't have many phone lines, so we constantly hear from people that I couldn't get through, and it was really tough to get on tonight, I was so busy. And so in getting fully into Facebook myself, I thought, well, maybe we could try this. We'll see what happens. So I just started by making a page for Green Cheese to see what would happen. And that, of course, a lot of people joined it right away, and I don't think we've quite honed what we want to do, but we had good participation. I think it was 166 posts through the night, and probably, it's hard to tell how many people, maybe 30, 32, people, because people were posting at different places too. It was kind of hard to figure that kind of stuff out. So it wasn't huge numbers, but a lot, and some of them I knew as people who also called and were using this as a different channel. But some of them were completely new people, because we know for a fact that there's a group of people who play Green Cheese and they call and they answer the questions. But there are people who play it and they never make the phone calls. That's how they play the game. So we thought that maybe this as another avenue of playing this, and with hopes that then people can have a social group. We hoped after I did it the first time, maybe people would go back the next Saturday and they would sit and comment to each other. It wouldn't necessarily be on the air, but that didn't quite happen. But it's just begun. We have to give that time and build that a bit. But we'll continue to try it and see if we can find. I don't know if Facebook's the right way to do it. It might be Twitter, it might be something else. But I think to do that, now that there's such great technology for real time online, I think it's the perfect avenue for this. I think that's our show that really is going to show us the way and how to communicate with people online.
Well, didn't you even say yourself that if you were listening to the trivia, you probably wouldn't have been the type of person that would have called in?
Right.
But
right.
If the trivia had been on Facebook and you were just a participant listener, that you would have engaged more actively by having the opportunity to Facebook your answer in.
Yeah, because people are different in how they will communicate. Because I work in radio, but I am not someone that really calls into things. So I think we reach mostly we're reaching a different audience, I think, by doing that rather than, and it may be convenience for other people too, but.
And not necessarily to replace your old audience.
No, not at all.
But I think to expand your community base and your.
Yeah, and have a new, there's all kinds of, who knows what ideas we could come up with. I mean, it could change how we play the game or change what we do with it. So I think we have a lot to learn about how people use, online, how people use the internet, and to integrate that into our radio. But I think what we do especially translates to the internet, because it is kind of about stories and communication, one-on-one. You know, when you're on the radio, you need to imagine who you're talking to as one person, not a giant audience. And it seems like that's what you do also when you're online. That's the stuff that works the best, is when you're directly communicating with somebody. What I think has changed about the internet, or what's so cool about Facebook and Twitter, is that you get to you're connected to people in a different way. It's about it's not that you get to know everybody on a personal level, but you have shared human experiences, you know, of where you take your dog for a walk, or you know how you put your floor in your basement, or how you do certain things. And then having that connection, you can get to a different level. You can have a conversation with them about something else. Just another way to kind of build community. It's not just a tool. It's a way for us to continue our mission.